My name is Emily Carter, and I was living through one of the most difficult phases of my life. At 28, I had just moved to Atlanta with the hope of starting fresh after grad school. A job opportunity had drawn me here, promising stability, growth, and a decent paycheck. But life, as it often does, had other plans. Within the first month, the company I was supposed to join went through a hiring freeze, and my offer was rescinded. Just like that, the foundation I was building my new life on crumbled beneath me. I was behind on rent. Again. The apartment I was renting wasn't luxurious, by any means. It had old wooden floors, a leaky faucet in the kitchen, and a heater that clanked like it was haunted. But it was mine, and it gave me a small sense of pride to be living independently. I tried to stay hopeful, applying to jobs daily, freelancing where I could, and tightening every part of my budget. Yet no matter how hard I tried, that first-of-the-month deadline loomed like a shadow over my days. My landlord, Marcus Brown, was not the type of man you could easily ignore. He was in his early 40s, tall with a commanding presence, and he ran his rental properties with military-level discipline. A former Navy serviceman, he carried himself with a quiet confidence. He was known in the neighborhood for being firm but fair. He had a reputation for not tolerating nonsense, but people also said he had a good heart if you were honest with him. I hadn't been entirely honest. I avoided his calls, stopped checking my email, and did everything short of disappearing completely. But that morning, the knock at my door was loud, sharp, and final. I opened the door slowly, anxiety wrapping around my chest. Marcus stood there, hands in his jacket pockets, eyes calm but direct. "Morning, Emily," he said. "Rent was due last week." I swallowed hard. I know. I lost my job. The offer fell through. I didn't know how to tell you. He looked at me for a moment that stretched longer than I wanted. Then he nodded, not in anger, but in acknowledgement. "Come downstairs. I want to show you something." I hesitated, unsure if this was the part where I'd be served an eviction notice. But I followed him. Down the stairs we went to the basement unit of the building. The door creaked open, and I stepped into what looked like the start of a construction project. Paint cans, brushes, boxes of tiles, and tools were scattered around. "This is my latest renovation," Marcus said. "It was supposed to be done 2 months ago, but the contractor bailed. I've been too busy to do it myself. You need money. I need help. We can make a deal." I looked at him, confused. "You'd pay me to help you renovate this?" "Yeah," he said simply. "You help me finish this project, I deduct it from your rent. If you work hard, maybe even earn something extra." I could hardly believe it. A second chance, out of nowhere. "Yes," I said quickly. "Thank you. I really appreciate it." He nodded again. "We start tomorrow. Wear something you can get dirty." That night, for the first time in weeks, I slept without the weight of dread in my chest. It wasn't a solution to all my problems, but it was a path forward. The next morning began our strange, new arrangement. Marcus was punctual, meeting me at 8 a.m. sharp. We started with clearing out old furniture and debris. It was exhausting work, but the physical activity gave my anxious mind something to focus on. He showed me how to sand down wooden panels, how to strip wallpaper, and how to use a tile cutter. At first, I was clumsy, making mistakes, but Marcus was patient. In the beginning, we didn't talk much outside of work instructions. But as the days passed, conversations naturally began to unfold. He told me stories about his time in the Navy, about traveling through the Pacific, about losing friends and finding meaning in rebuilding lives back home. I told him about my dreams of becoming a writer, my fear of failure, my strained relationship with my parents who never quite understood why I didn't just take a safer path. There was something steadying about his presence. Marcus had a calm way of seeing the world, of accepting things as they were while still trying to make them better. And I started to look forward to our time together, not just for the paycheck, but for the sense of being useful, seen, and supported. 3 weeks into the renovation, the basement unit looked entirely different. Fresh white walls, new lighting, polished floors. It wasn't fancy, but it felt like something we had built together. That day, Marcus handed me a check. I looked at it and blinked. It was more than what I owed for rent. Marcus, this is too much. No, it's what you earned. You showed up. You worked hard. You didn't give up. That means something. I didn't know what to say. Gratitude and relief flooded through me. I thanked him, my voice barely more than a whisper. Don't thank me, he said. Just promise me something. When you're on your feet, help someone else who's falling. That's how we build community. From that day on, things started to change. I landed a remote freelance writing gig, then another. Slowly, I climbed out of the hole I was in. I started paying rent early, not just on time. I even baked cookies for the other tenants during the holidays. But I never forgot what Marcus did for me. He didn't just keep me from being evicted. He saw potential in someone who was too used to being overlooked. We stayed in touch, even after I moved out a year later to a new apartment closer to my new job. Every now and then, we'd grab coffee, and he'd update me on his latest renovation projects. I'd tell him about my growing writing career. Sometimes the rent is due, and you have no idea how you're going to make it. But sometimes, people surprise you. Sometimes, they give you more than just time. They give you dignity, purpose, and a chance to rebuild. That's what Marcus did for me. And I won't ever forget it.